How do we get players to practice on their own? How do we get players to practice on their own without it feeling like a chore? How do we get players to want to practice on their own? Stay tuned and you will find out right here, right now. So what hold on. Guys, this is important. It's going on Instagram.
Instagram, boy!
Hey guys. So what we have with my players is individual goals. I have each player choose a goal that they want to do. So I don't choose it for them, they choose. So I give them an assignment to do once a week. I meet with them after the practice and I say, what day are you going to be working on your goal? So I got cards for them right here. This is a Psalms card. And today he's going to be working on shooting. And then he has instructions on the back to follow. So these guys here decided that they're going to do their assignment today. So we just had a 2-hour practice. And then now we're going to do the extra assignment for our players. Alright, that's good.
Okay. Yeah.
I would go so far as to say that most coaches, if not all of them, at some point attempt to assign homework to their players to do by themselves. A lot of coaches always wonder, why is it that when I assign homework to my players to do at home when I'm not there, that they don't follow through, that they never end up doing it? There's a few reasons for that. And even in any area of life, whether it is business or your spouse or regardless of what it is, you have to give your players, your wife, your employees some say in the matter. They have to be given a say. If it's just you telling them what to do, when to do it, there will be no enthusiasm. This has nothing to do with kids. This has everything to do with people.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing shooting right now. Yusuf, what are the important things to focus on when shooting?
Always look at the ball and where you want to shoot.
Go closer to the camera. Don't act like you're shy. Not that close. Okay,
always look at the ball and where you want to shoot.
okay, all right, let's go. Part of understanding the psychology of people is knowing that if they have no say in what they are going to do, they will not be enthusiastic about it. That is one thing that you have to remember. Autonomy is the critical word for understanding the most important component in getting people to do things when you are not there. Without autonomy, you can forget about people being enthusiastic about doing things without your presence. The first thing I do is to let my players set their goals. So regardless of whether you are in business or whether you have a spouse or even your players, there must be one goal. There must be one main goal that everybody wants to accomplish. And you can set that goal. Okay, so right now, Dylan is working on passing and these other guys are working on shooting. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We're staying after practice. We got 1 player working on passing, 3 players working on shooting. Dylan, pass it hard enough so they get it there. Assam, don't come closer. Pass it. Yeah, then pass it back. No, Assam, don't move too close. Easy. Assam, you gotta look, cause Assam, you can control it if you want. Let's go. Good. Easy. Now, whenever you have players setting their own goals, it is important to make sure that they set it. The only part you play in setting their goals is making sure that their goal lines up with the team's goal, the main goal. If it lines up with that, then that is fine. But that is the only part that you play in setting the goal. You do not tell them what to do. There are some of my players who chose a goal that I would not agree with them going with that goal based on where they are. but they will be enthusiastic about doing it as opposed to if I were to tell them what to do. So this is the most important thing. Secondly, you need to create accountability. Accountability enables players to constantly measure what they did from the previous week, what they will plan to do in the next week. Every training, in particular, at least one time a week you should do in training. Have the players go over when they plan to complete that drill, that goal that they have set for themselves. It doesn't have to be at practice. It doesn't have to be at your presence, in your presence. Some players will do it before training. Some players will do it after training. Some players will do it at home. Some players will do it during the week. Some players will do it on the weekend. But this is something that you need to keep track of every single week until it gets to the point that the players themselves will be able to implement this system without you being there. Eventually, my goal is to have it to where players keep up with their goals, individual goals as a team, without me being there. Everything I do as a coach is without me being there. So these are two important things, and I meet with my players every practice. For the ones that don't show up in the previous practice, I meet with them every practice and I say two things. What did you do the last week to set your goals? Secondly, when are you planning to work on your individual goals this coming up week? Alright, so what I'm doing now in this practice is I am following up with my players for weekly goals. They have a goal that they choose, that they want to improve on for the whole season. They have to work on it. So what I do is I get my players and I say, what day do you plan to work on your goal? So he chose Tuesday, and today is Tuesday, and his goal is shooting, and he chose it. He chose Tuesday. All right. So Landon, for today, you're gonna practice your shooting as you chose. Okay. All right. And then what I'll do for the players who decide a different day when we don't practice is I will speak with them the following week, and then I will ask them, hey, what day did you do your training? Did you do your training? If they didn't, then I'm gonna go over and discuss with them how can we schedule this so that next time you do your training. So I want to hold them accountable, and I want to create that habit of accountability with the players. So I follow up on a weekly basis. You pass the ball to me, I pass it to you, you take one touch forward, and then you aim for that part of the goal.
Like on the top?
No, that side, I don't care. So this is the player that I was talking about earlier, Landon, doing training today. All right, let's go. After practice, after hours. Let's go. One touch.
One touch?
No, one touch control and then shoot it. Left side. Good, let's go.
Oh, I go right side then.
Yeah, Faraz, you can go the other way. Look where you shoot. Good, let's go. Good. Excellent. Let's go. You should do this ideally for a full season. Let the players work on this skill for a full season and do not let them change. One of the important things that it is very important that your kids get this idea is that whenever they choose something, let them stick to it. Of course, if something that they chose doesn't align with the goal, then they have to change it. But in this case, you as a coach should have already been able to determine if the goal they set aligned with the team goal. But don't let players switch every single week, because there are some times when players are like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Because they see something else that's more enticing. But you cannot fail your players in that. They need to master a skill. They need to understand the importance of sticking with something and mastering it. And then whenever they master it, then next season they can move to another skill. In conclusion, I will be working in another video about what happens when players don't follow up with their individual goals for the week? What type of punishment will be put in place? I'm not going to expand on this in this video, but I will be expanding on it in another video. So what this video was about was autonomy. The number one important thing is autonomy. Let your players set the goal. Okay. Secondly, you determine if their individual goal aligns with the team goal. And thirdly, accountability. Follow up with your players every week. Follow up with every single one to determine what they did in the previous week and when they plan to work on their goal the next and upcoming week. Stay tuned for the next episode.